Okay, learners, yeah, ma'am have started the class. So let it be a very interactive class because in a social work you have to have interaction. Only then the learning will be better. Okay, okay, ma'am, go ahead with the
Oh,
session. Thank you.
okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Samiksha Suri, and I'll be taking your class of your Bachelor's of Social Work Code 122. That is society, social institutions, and social problems. So before starting the class, I would like you all to introduce yourself. May I start with Hidayatullah?
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is
Good afternoon.
Hidayatullah Ajmal. Good afternoon. I'm from Kandahar, Afghanistan, and
Okay.
I'm the part of this program, social
Okay.
work.
Why you took social work, Hidayatullah? Hello? You're not audible, Hidayat. Okay. Nuria Amir. Anyone would like to introduce themselves? Nuria Nasrin. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible. Problem is with the
Okay.
learners, I think.
Yes, sir.
Hello,
Kamaruddin. Hi, Nasrin. Am I audible, Nasrin?
my name is Nasreen. I'm from Herat, Afghanistan.
Okay. Welcome, Nasrin. This is your first class?
Mhm.
Okay. So, shall we begin? I think so. There's a network issues amongst the learner, I believe. Nuria Shabnam Kamaruddin. Am I audible?
Hi, Miss. Yes,
Okay. I'm audible, right?
yes, Miss.
My screen is visible to you all?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So we shall start now. See, before starting, I shall introduce some benefits of studying Bachelor's of Social Work course. Right? So it's just not a professional course. It also provides you qualifications for employment in many human service providing agencies. It's not that you are here for your professional decorum. It's also that it does not only provide you with the area or the arena of being a professional, but also it enables you to pursue something that is connected with the society, something that is connected with the environment, that connects you with the other person, that is humane in nature. Social workers, they can easily get jobs as counselors in healthcare, adoption, environment protection, community policing, and many other fields are there, right? Someone wants to join, let me accept the request. Right. Also, if you'll see, it's the career options are plenty in this course, right? You have to be very sensitive and very mature when you take this course, because you are able to connect yourself with people. You are able to empathize with themselves, with them, not just provide sympathy, right? It's not a course that you think that you'll able to provide sympathy with people. You will be able to empathize with them, solve their problems, and also you can identify people and communities and families that needs help. So there are typical roles and responsibilities of a social worker which you should keep in mind before taking this course. What are these roles? First, you should know how to identify people and families and communities that needs help. Secondly, you should know how to assess an individual needs, situations, and strengths, and how you can support them. Thirdly, You should know how to help clients adjust to life challenges such as illness, divorce, or unemployment. It is just not a course that where you will be sitting there and providing your inputs. No, it is a course where you solve their problems, their daily problems, the problems that can create hindrance to an individual to keep the balance in their life. You should know how to advocate for community resources as well as you should know how you can advocate for the resources, mobilize them, and create opportunities for the people around you. You should know how to respond to the crisis, any crisis. Like if there is a crisis in your country, or there is a crisis in your locality, even the crisis in your family or your friendship circle, you should know how to respond to the crises such as child abuse and mental health emergencies. This course will help you to monitor client situation and keep you with regular checking inputs. It will let you provide a framework where you can be uh, helpful towards people, where you can provide your monitoring skills towards an individual. It will also help you to maintain case files and records for clients. And this course, in the end, will also help you to provide a diagnosis, treatment, and psychotherapy services if you will specialize in the field of casework, medical, social work. There are other options also. So we do have many subjects in this course, like social work, history and development, social casework, social group work, society, social institution, social problems. You also have a subject called qualitative and quantitative methodology, that is research in social uh, work. So you have many scope. And when it comes to scope in India, am I audible? And is it making sense to you? What am I teaching, Hidatullah? Am I
Yes,
making sense?
miss. Everything is clear. We can get it.
And okay, and are you able to understand?
Yes, yes. Sure.
Okay, okay,
Yes,
nice.
ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's
Yes,
just,
ma'am. Thank
I
you.
really want to tell you that when it comes to the course in India, as I am myself, I'm a research scholar in Delhi School of Social Work, University of Delhi. So I can tell you that as a social worker, you have a lot of scope in our country. You must have heard about corporate social responsibility as well. You can also join the foundations of big companies, big companies who have a turnover of 500, net worth of 500, or a turnover over of 1,000 crores. Those companies have their own foundations. So you can also join these foundation as a social worker. You also have a scope in public sector units, where you can qualify certain competitive exams, and you can uh, you know give your service as a social worker. The major scope of being a social worker uh, ha- is making your own NGO and working in different NGOs as well. If you want to work in a mental health area, so you can join many NGOs who provide such kind of facilities. And if you want to take care of the child care related things, child protection schemes, or you want to work towards the upliftment of women or women empowerment, so there are many NGOs where you can apply and you can work there, uh, related to your understanding and your choices of work, right? Now, I was given the job to make you understand about this course called Society, Social Institution, and Social Problems. So there are four blocks in this course. First is Introduction to Society. Second block will make you understand about what a society is and what are its subsystems. Third block will be there, which will make you understand about social institution of marriage. And fourth, last block will be of the social problems and services. Let me admit people. Yes. So today we will be starting with block 1, that is introduction to society. So there are subunits, there are 5 units under this one block. Every block, if you see, all 4 blocks will have 4 to 5 units each. Very easy to understand if you take interest in it. Now this one first block, that is introduction to society, will have 5 units. But first will be, we will be understanding the basic sociological concept, like what a society is, what is an association, what is an institution. Second unit will make you understand the evolution of human society. What, according to some sociologists, what do you mean by an individual, a man or a human or a society, and what are its characters. Third unit will make you understand about the processes, the social processes. Fourth unit will make you understand about the social change concept and factors involved in social change. And the last unit of this block, we will study about social control. So today we will be starting with the first unit. So there are 4 blocks. Block 1 is about introduction to society. There are 5 units, and today we will be starting with basic sociological concept, unit 1 of the block 1. Right? Unit 1 of block 1. If you want, I will share this PPT, so no need to take screenshot and no need to worry about it. Now, I want to ask you people, if anyone wants to say anything about what is the definition of society according to you. Anyone, any answer will be acceptable, even the wrong ones. I think interaction is necessary. So, what do you understand by society? Anyone wants to say anything? Please. Yes. Yes, Shabnam, please go ahead.
Interaction between the human and the nature and with the animals is, I think,
Yeah.
called society.
Yes, yes, yes. So what do you believe that what kind of a society you live in, Shabnam? What
Uh,
is your definition of living in a society?
I mean, my society, about my society.
Yes, about your society.
How, I mean, how?
In words of relationships or social interactions.
Like having interaction with our family,
Yes.
being in a relationship with
Yes.
classmates, teacher,
True.
colleges, and blah blah.
True. Yes. Okay. Anyone else want to say anything about what a society is? Yes, Kamruddin. Kamruddin, please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Hello.
The society is when the individuals and communities, some anything else, they are living with each other. We can
Yes.
call this as society.
Yes, when we live with each other, when we have established a certain form of relationship with each other. Right,
Yes,
Kamruddin? Okay.
yes, yes, yes,
Hidayatullah?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hidayatullah?
I have a simple definition, ma'am. Society is
Okay.
defined as a group of people who live in a definable community.
What do you mean by when you say definable community?
Means everyone, a group of people who knows each other well, who lives each other
Who has
in the
certain
same.
norms and
Yeah,
values, right? Yes,
yes, yeah, ma'am.
definable community can be
Yeah.
when you have certain norms and values and an objective. Okay, good, good. Okay, so right. So there's a big renowned sociologist called McLever, right? I'm highlighting this, McCleaver. He describes society as a web of relationships. A very simple way to describe society is a web of relationships. As just now we have heard from our people, from our learners. So society is a web of relationships. There are a number of definition of society, but there are certain characteristics, or you can say certain features, where you can understand what actually a society is. And these questions will be asked, what a society is. So first, it is a web of relationships. As one of the learners said, it has a defining community objectives, it has certain norms, it has certain values. Society involves mutual awareness. The first condition for calling a set of individual as a society is that there is certain kind of awareness among them. Like we do have an awareness that we belong to a certain kind of culture, or we belong to a certain kind of community, or we belong to a certain kind of structure. So there has to be a mutual awareness where we can say that we are a society, we are one, we are not just individuals, rather we are a group. Society also comprises of social relationships, right? When we say social relationships, we meant by saying that we have a mutual interaction, and the actions of one person affects the other. So if there will be a society where people are doing crimes or are taking drugs, so that will influence that will influence the relationship amongst people, that will influence other person also to do crime or to take drugs. So society do comprises of social relationships where the action of one person can affect the other person. And as we have just said, we have been told by some learners that it has values and norms that guide these social relationships. Every individual, every individual has a specific role that is assigned to him or her by the society, and the performance of these roles is guided by values and norms. So there are certain set norms and values of the society. Can anyone name any value or a norm? Can anyone tell me what are the norms that are defined to you by a society where you are living? Just one, in a one word, in a simple word. Any norm you want to tell me about, or any value that guides you to be in a community within the people. Anyone? Type of norm or type of a value? Nuria, Nasreen, Kamruddin, Hidayat? Any one of you want to say anything?
I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm so confused
About what?
about norm.
Okay, okay. Norms are ethical consideration about set patterns or set beliefs about a certain thing. Okay, Dayat. What are norms? It is a set of beliefs. It is a set of patterns or ethics that you need to follow. Now are you understanding?
Got it, ma'am.
Okay, so any set of belief, Hidayat, that you have to follow to live in a society, that you have to perform this set of pattern. Anything? Hidayat? Hmm?
Yeah, ma'am. I'm
Like,
sorry. I forgot everything, ma'am.
Like,
acha.
ma'am, that we don't commit any crime in our society, yeah?
Yes, these are kind of norms that you don't commit a crime. That you have a set of patterns that you don't. In simple words, you don't do bad to people. You
Yes.
don't murder them. You don't steal. You don't become a thief. So when we say that there are certain norms and values that means that you become a good person, you are a good person, you have certain belief system, you are spiritual, you are religious, you respect other people, you respect other religion as well, right? Now society has general rules. Every society wants to perpetuate itself. Now there are certain functions, these are called, there are certain functions that need to be performed if the society has to maintain itself. All right, there are certain functions that you definitely perform, right? These are called functional prerequisite. Some of the most common function, if you say, identify our common goals, common orientation towards environment, like general goals. When we talk about goals, like if you have goals towards environment, like you need to protect trees, you do not have to do the deforestation, you have to protect your environment, it has to be clean, it has to be pollution free. Now there has to be general goals about communication, like people have to be kind to each other, they have to respect each other. There can be general goals about common values, like we discussed, about about rearing of children or socializing the children, like how children, that how children can be brought up, how their education can be taken as an important part, how their education will take an important part in their life. So society has general uh, goals. So in that way we can understand what a society is, that when it talks about children, it talks about communication, it talks about environment. All right, now next is, society has several complementary social processes. First, we have understood that society involves mutual awareness, it has social relationships, and the action of one person affect the other. It has values, it has ethics, it has certain norms which we need to follow. It has general goals also, like we need to take care about women, about children, about our environment. Now, next, society has several complementary social processes. Like we find instances of association, cooperation, social process like cooperation. A competition and conflict in society are social process. So we need to manage kind of processes. So it does have certain kind of conflicts and competition, but as a society we need to manage those processes. We find that in many ways the member of society are alike, and in many other ways they are different also. Now society has division of labor, how the work has to be divided among the members, like also in your family, certain rules are given to men of the family, certain rules are given to women of the family. So same similarly as a society, for example, in a society you must, yes, there might be a person who is head of that society or a community, who takes care of your electricity or who takes care of your water supply, right? So division of labor can be based also on sex, on education, profession, ethnicity, caste, or class. This is a very important point. Please make sure about this point. All right, wait. Let me highlight this point. Division of labor. Okay, so it depends upon sex, education, profession, ethnicity, caste, or class. So society definitely is based on different uh, genders and sexes, and different education, different profession. One might be a doctor, one might be a teacher. There might be different ethnicity, cultures, or class. Now, society is more than the sum of its total number of its members. Just not about members or individuals, it is a whole sum of everything, it is more than that. It is every individual having different personalities coming together to live in a particular community. Now when we say about classification of societies, how societies are classified, right? On what basis we can say that this is a society or this is not. So when we classify society, we classify them on the basis of their geographical location. So for example, When we talk about geographical location, we can discuss about Western society or Indian society or Chinese society or your even in your country, Afghanistan society. So there are different societies. So when we talk about society, we can say like this is a society from Afghanistan. This is a society from India. So it can be classified on the basis of geographies also. Now societies can be classified on the basis of language. You can speak different language, we can have different language. In our country there are more than 28, 29 languages. In your country also there might be different languages. So when we say what kind of society you belong, you can say I belong to an Afghanistan society based on your geographical location. You can talk about your language and say I belong to this kind of society. Now, society can be also classified on the basis of their core values. When we talk about core values, say, for example, Western society is considered very modern and rational, and Indian society, when you talk about India, it is considered very traditional and religious. So, can anyone tell me the core value of Afghanistan? Let me also have an insight about your values, please. Anyone? Like I just said that the Indian society is very traditional and it is very religious and spiritual, and meditation and yoga is a very integral part of our society. So anything you want to say about core value?
Yes, Miss,
Eh,
our core values, our religion and the
yes,
traditional,
well
like
done, well done.
India, spiritual.
Right. Well done, Shabnam. Yes. Anyone else? Nuria, why are you silent? Nuria, come on. No. Yes, Kamruddin. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Our society is also like India. Our society is traditional. Some in some provinces like rural society,
Right.
and in Kabul, but in Kabul is urban society, I
Urban
think.
society. Yeah, so it
Yes.
must be having some core values as an urban. So there might be a difference between a rural and an urban society based on values or based on technology, based on infrastructure, right?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes.
Uh, okay, okay,
I
good.
got it.
Now, society, when we talk about society, it is also based on the level of complexity of social life. We know that there are very complex issues that can occur, like murders, like crimes, or cultural issues, or economical issues also, and or issues related to hunger and food. So there are complexity when you live in a social life. So if somebody wants to talk about, for example, uh, a state of India which is comparatively poor than the other state, like we have 29 states. So you can say, oh, the society of that particular state is not that empowered because it has more poor people in it. All right, or people are sleeping without food. So it has complexity, and you can define a society by the way of, by the level of complexity it has, complexities that it has. Okay. Now societies is based on its economic system also. For example, people say that Britain or USA or other countries are more economically well than the other countries. So it can be classified. Am I audible, right? So it can be classified based on its economic system. Or if you have even in your country, if you have a uh, economy of something that is more empowering, like you say that we have lands, we have factories, or we have agriculture. So based on your economic system you can also define your society. So what is the best economic system that your country has? Anyone can say? Is land a major source of your economic system, or factories, or agriculture? Anyone? Anyone can say.
Yeah, ma'am, we have agriculture system,
Right.
fertilizers, And I have a question, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
I think oh, I will ask later.
About what, Hidayat? Like question about?
About economic. If we have, if a country has economic crisis, so
Right.
it will it will affect the
It will
social.
have a
Yeah,
complexity.
yeah.
Then you
It,
can say that the society is right now facing a complexity of social life.
I I mean it will have more effects on social life.
Yes, of course, of course. Even in India, when we used to have, or even in certain part of our country, when we have a economic system that is not strong, so there are certain complexity that is faced by people. Like social life is not that you can say that productive, right? Or people, the demand and the supply of certain food or certain items become less, right? Obviously when the economic system will be strong, then there will be more demand, then there will be more supply, there will be more exchange of money, right? When it comes to economic system. Okay,
Yeah.
and this on the other hand will definitely have an influence of how of on the standard of living, like human development index says, the standard of living, right? So that is the point. Now society is also based on the political system. The political system can be democratic or authoritarian. Like in India we have a democracy. So if I ask you about what kind of a political system you have, what will you say?
We had democratic government, but we don't have now. You know.
Right. Okay. Okay. So now the societies are also classified based on the historical periods, like ancient story, medieval societies, and modern society. So when we talk about our society, we always say we used to have this. Our ancestors were these, and how it turned everything turned down. How now our society is so the past and the present, or what is the modern about our society, right? So it is also classified about how the historical periods have went through, what who were the leaders who contributed towards making our society better. Now there, when we talk about society, we also talk about community, right? So when we say about community, the concept also helps in describing and differentiating existing communities. When we talk about communities, there are two types of community, as one of the I think community just said that there's a rural and an urban community. Okay, so when you talk about communities, you say it's a rural community and an urban community. All right.
Yes, all right, ma'am.
So community, when it comes to urban community, what is the characteristic of an urban community? Just one characteristic.
Example, ma'am.
Yes, example.
Oh, for example, can you give me an example?
Then that I will give you, but I want to know from your side also, no? When I say an urban community, what do you understand by an urban community?
Like they receive with a more education with a modern system, but in rural, they just study like the past
Right,
years.
right. So there are certain differences.
And
Yes, Amrita.
ma'am, and also, ma'am, everyone can do their job very and frequently type.
Or when you talk about urban and rural differences, you can also take the example of human development index, like standard of living between those communities, or you can also say health facilities, education facilities, right? Am I
Yes,
right?
yes,
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 yes.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, so when we talk
Definitely.
about rural communities are characterized by the following attributes: strong community sentiment, even if they don't have a good infrastructure or medical facility, but the community sentiment is very strong. Why? Because they have an importance of neighborhood. They have high incidences of extended families. The system of families matter in the rural community. Family is the most important factor. Now there are predominance of primary relationships. Primary relationships are those relationships which are very basic and inherent to us, like family and friends. Now there are majority of community members occupations are related to primary sectors like fishing, agriculture, hunting, and there is high degree of informal social control and greater degree of homogeneity. Homogeneity means similarities, and informal social control means that in a rural community people will definitely follow what their parents will say. Like children are more to follow what their parents are doing, or they say that you have to go to certain occupation or you have to do these things. So they informal kind of there's an informal kind of a social control on children. On the ancestors keep on doing one kind of an occupation, so that's why there's a type of homogeneity in rural communities. Am I right? Have you seen this homogeneity or higher degree of informal social control? Have you seen this in rural communities? Come on, be interactive. Come on. Even you have a wrong answer. I think every answer is acceptable and I can correct that. Do you think there is an informal social control when it comes to rural communities? Social control means when you are controlling a person to do this and follow these steps. You think there is relatively rural communities system has that, and why? Shabnam, tell me why.
Yes, miss, because they want their kids to be grown under their laws, yeah? So
Yes,
they just want to make them what they want to say, what they want to do.
yes. Why?
Like
Because
forced marriage.
yes, yes, of course. A disadvantage though, but it is there. Why? Because they have a sense of community. There's an importance of what people around them says, because they are relatively not that developed than the urban community. All right. Now,
Yes, yes, ma'am.
when we talk about urban community, urban community is characterized by the following: weak community sentiments and lesser importance of neighborhood, for sure. Major occupation of the members are related to industry and services sector and heterogeneity. So there is no homogeneity in the urban community. Why? Because it's firstly there is industrial development. So many services sector, like you can say many people working in MNCs or big tech companies are there in the urban community, and there's not similarity. There are different kind of people, different culture, and different type of work that are available in the urban community. So and that is why the importance of neighborhood is likely to decline in the urban communities, and people do not give that much importance to the sentiments of the community, or they do not even listen to their own parents also. Sometimes they say, no, we are educated, we have gained this education, we will do whatever we want to do. So see, I am not saying that rural communities are bad. If you talk about rural community and if you talk about sustainable development goals, rural communities are mostly developed sustainability, because they do take care of agriculture, they do take care of fresh air and the pollution, and they do care about the cleanliness of their surroundings. While in the urban community, because of industrialization and because of people coming around from different sectors and settling down, the level of pollution also increases. So sustainably, if we talk about when rural communities do take care of the environment, but urban communities take care of the education system, they take care of the hospital system, medical facilities, because the infrastructure is there is comparatively better. Now, what are the features of a community? A community is a grouping of people. Means it comprises of number of people living together and sharing a common life. Again, we can also define community with a fixed geographical area. A community has well defined boundaries that are recognized by the members of the communities. Now there is division, again there is a division of labor. Every individual has their task to perform in a community. Members are conscious of their unity and belongingness. There is a sense of belongingness, like in rural communities, as we have heard that community belongingness matters, neighborhood matters. Members acts collectively in an organized manner to achieve common goals. So if you face some issues related to electricity or water supply, so as a community, people around you, your neighbor will collectively come together and solve that issue, so that everyone around you are able to get water or electricity. It is community. Individual will not say that, oh, I will have that water supply or I will have the electricity supply. As a community, you come together to achieve your common goal, so you can have a common uh, way to solve problems. Members act collectively in an organized manner to achieve some goals. Now you have a common culture. Like for example, one kind of a culture, a group of culture would be living in one community. Other group of culture might be settled in another community. Now there are associations also. McLever defines an association as an organized, deliberately formed by the collective pursuit of some interest or set of interest which its members share. So, what is an association? As I said, it is, as I just said, it is an organized, deliberately formed. It is an organization which is deliberately formed. So, what is an association? Any example of an association? You can talk about, for I can give you a hint. You can talk about sports in it. Any kind of organization. Oh, sorry, association. Hidayat. Hidayat. Are you interested in sports? Hello, Hidayat, are you there? Kerula. 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 Okay, Shabnam.
Yes, ma'am. About sport,
Any association you can talk about.
like school
No, in sports.
in sports,
Hmm.
like football.
Yes, a football like FIFA World Cup, right? So
Yes,
they
yes,
do have their own association in cricket also. We have our own association, right?
yes, ma'am.
So associations are an organization which you form deliberately, means they are not naturally formed. Someone wants to say yes, Kerula, yes. Please go ahead. Kerula, please say something. You raised your hand, I guess. Kerula? Yes. Tell me, speak. Unmute yourself. It's Khairullah Aktash. Please unmute yourself. Am I audible to you? Okay. I think
I
he
think
has
that
left.
was unintentionally.
Okay. Okay. So we have association, that is a kind of a organization we form deliberately. Like community is a natural setting that where you live, a community is formed in any area. But association, you form it deliberately, like football association, cricket associations, any association. So associations, definitely they are group of individuals. That's very basic. They have certain objectives, like uh, an association of cricket would have different objectives, and an association of World Cup would have different objectives. Association has formal rules and regulations. Now, when the FIFA World Cup was conducted, so they were saying that you have to form certain rules and regulation to, uh, represent your country in the football world. So there has to be certain rules and regulations. Membership is voluntary. If you want to become a member of it, so it is voluntary. It is not like you have to become. If you want, it is then you can become the member of that association. That is, if you want to, if your country want to represent in a cricket association, so you can become the member of it. But membership is important in an association. Association survives as long as it has members. So for example, if a cricket association has to survive, so if countries will represent themselves in cricket, only then the association can work. If countries, do not send their representation, so how can an association work? So associations survive even if the original members leave or expire, but the only condition is that new members should join. So the condition is that if there are members to join, only then an association can survive. Association and their relevance in modern society. So modern societies freely allow and even encourage the formation of these association. We find that there are associations that have serious objectives, like influencing government policy. So there can be an association of a political objective, that we want to tell our government to take out a certain policy. So for have you heard about farmers protest in India? Anyone? So many associations were formed to tell our government that you need to take these, certain laws, or correct the certain laws, or take down these certain laws. Many associations like Farmers Association was formed. Are you understanding, Hidayat? Hidayat, I was asking you one question.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
I was asking you about a sports association, any sports association.
Like in Afghanistan,
No, in any type of country or anything. Simple association.
we have football federation association in Afghanistan. Also, we have
Yes.
cricket association
Yes.
divided in the cities.
Right.
Uh, yeah, we have
Right.
many associations related to sports and any kind of,
Right.
yeah, any kind
Right.
of.
So those association have certain members and they have rules and regulations. Yes, that
Yeah,
is
yeah.
what is the basic difference between communication and community and association. Okay.
Everyone who wants to join the association, who he can or she can.
Yes, it is voluntary. See, I have used this that it is voluntary. Now there are certain institutions also. So we just talked about society. That society is a web of relationships. We talked about community also. That there are two communities, like urban community and rural community within a society, right? Then there are associations within society which you can deliberately join. These are an organization which is formed deliberately for a certain objective. Then we have institutions now. Yes, people use the term institution while referring to certain kind of organizations. Now, institution like educational institution, your school can be your institution, right? Your college can be your institution. IGNU, this program where you are enrolled in, is an institution of education system. So institution, while we refer to an institution, we mean by saying an organization. But in sociology, the concept institution has a specific meaning. So McLever, again McLever, a very renowned sociologist, he talks about institution and says that institutions are established forms or conditions of procedures characteristics of a group activity. That what he tries to say is that institution are an established forms, or they are procedures or characteristics of a group activity. So established forms like an educational institution is an established one. It is established for a certain objective, and it has a characteristics of people, of group, characteristics of like children coming from different backgrounds, of different age, of different cultures. Now, according to Horton and Hunt, an institution is a system of norms to achieve some goal. Like an educational system has certain rules and regulation. So, and what is the goal of an educational system is to educate the society. And if you have a system of a medical system, a medical institution, like an hospital or a medical college. So there are certain norms to be followed in a medical college. And what are the goals that are needed to be achieved? Is to train the student to become a good doctor. So our institution, according to Hort and Hunt, an institution is a system of norms to achieve some goals. Also, McLever also said that institutions are established forms, like forms of education. Forms, in terms of forms, what do you mean by when it says established forms? There are certain forms like education, health, services, technical institution. So they are established forms, right? Now what are the characteristics of, please, I want to get one information from you also. Will you all be giving the exam of this course? Will there be an exam? Anyone can tell me. Have you write? Will you write down the exam for this course that I am teaching? Yes, Kerala, please go ahead. Kerala, you are just raising your hand and you're not answering anything.
Do you hear me, madam?
Yes, I do. Now tell me, Kerala. So will you be writing down the exam?
Yes, madam. We already passed the exam for enrollment in the course.
Okay, okay.
We have
So
sent the documents, and after that, we had a meeting, like like an exam. They see our documents in the video call, and after that, they approve that we
okay.
succeed for the
Oh,
course.
okay, thank you so much. Please mute yourself. So, since you have to write down the exam, please mute yourself. Yeah. So, since you have to write down the exam, and if they ask about institutions, please mute yourself. Kerala, yes, thank you. So please, when they ask about institution, write down the definition of McLever and Horton and Hunt. These two people, when you talk about institution, write down that institution is a system of norms. For example, an educational institution, all right, a medical institution, technical institution, health institution. Please write down that. Then when they ask you about the characteristics, the character or the feature of an institution, write down that institution emerges out of a social interaction within a group. So according to Sumner, the sociologist, there are two types of institution. Crescent institution and enacted institution. Crescent institution are those in which norms emerge unconsciously in the society. Its origin is unclear. Means crescent institution like an institution of family. You don't have to unnecessarily make some laws or or certain norms or ethics. These are the ethics. They emerges unconsciously as you become a part of family. A family is an institution, or you become a part of a marriage institution. That there are certain rules and regulations, or there are certain things that emerges unconsciously, you have to listen to your mother, you have to listen to your father sometimes. Now they have to also listen to their children, right? Aggressive institutions like the institutions of family or groups, they emerges very unconsciously. However, when you say enacted institution, they are consciously created for specific purposes. Like, for example, enacted institution, anyone can give an example? Come on, fast, 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 be fast. Please, learners. What is a kind of enacted institution? Jaldi se bol, please say fast. Please answer me, Shabnam. Enacted institution example?
Like
Uh,
siblings.
No, 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 Shabnam. It is not enacted. Siblings are crazy. Firstly, sibling is not an institution. It's, you can say, family is an institution.
Family. Yeah.
Yeah. So family, I just answered. I just told aggressive, where norms or institutions which emerges unconsciously in the society, like family. You are born there. There are certain norms and beliefs that you will follow unconsciously, right? Right. But when you have an enacted institution, like educational institution, like
Like
medical one,
university.
like university, like college, where you have a certain specific purpose. Simple. Is it clear? Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am. Is it clear now?
Okay.
Yes,
Now then,
yes, yes.
institution are structural processes that control human behavior. All right. Any member of
Yes.
society is expected to follow the rules, regulations, and usage prevalent in the society. So there are certain rules and regulations even at your home, even if it is a aggressive institution like family or marriage. There are certain regulations that you have to follow. So institution are a structural process. There are certain structures, steps to be followed that control human behavior. Like for example, if you are in an educational institution, people will tell you that if you go to school, please have a discipline there. Do not disturb your teacher, do not interfere, or do not create a ruckus at the classes. Please mute yourself. I don't know who has unmuted. And yes, thank you. So, institutional structure processes that sometimes control human behavior. Now, all institutions have rules and status. As I've said, that there are certain rules that are even given to family also, and also to the educational institution. There are rules that can be followed sometimes in a marriage or even in a peer group also. Or there are rules that can be followed in an university or college also. So institutional roles are learned by socialization. So every institutions prescribes specific rules for the particular individual. So if you are in an institution of marriage, so people will tell you that you need to take care of the parents, of the in-laws, of your wife or of your husband, right? And there's a process of socialization that you have to follow. Socialization, like you have to have a learned behavior or a patterns from your family that you need to carry forward, or you have a learned behavior from your education or something that you need to carry forward. From your education also you can learn how to socialize, or how to uh, behave in an institution. Through education, like we can learn how to be disciplined while studying, how to be more interactive among your friends, among your group. So many agencies of socializations are family, educational institution, peer group, state and religion. So these are the agencies of socialization. So where you socialization means where you interact, where you socialize, like in family or an educational institution or peer groups. So there are certain rules that you learn through these agencies. So institutions influence each other. So there are many institutions in a society and they influence each other. For example, the school teaches the students how to be a good citizen. Now, if you go in a university, you will be taught how to be a good learner, how to, be uh, how to give a positive impact in the society. So they influence, obviously they influence your life, they influence your mental setup, they influence your external environment. Now the last topic is primary groups and secondary groups. So there are two types of groups. One is primary and one is secondary. If I talk about these groups in a very layman language, in a very simpler language, primary groups are those groups which are basic, inherent. Also, where you have face to face interaction, more face to face interaction. Even in secondary groups, you do have, but secondary groups are kind of formal groups which are secondary in your life, and primary are the ones which where there is influence of people in your life. So, Horton and Hunt, they said they described groups as a collection of individuals who live in a close physical proximity. Means individual who live together, who lives together and are in a more physical proximity. That can be defined as a group. Now, when we talk about primary groups, so primary groups are those groups whose members have face to face contacts, intimate, personal, and non formal relationship. Please understand this. Primary groups are those groups whose members have face to face contacts and have intimate, personal, and non formal relationship. Please give an example of primary group.
Like husband and wife.
Yes. Family.
Like children's with their parents, ma'am.
Yes, yes, yes. So primary groups are those groups. Now, primary groups are of small size, like family or peer groups. Primary groups members share common goals, of course. You know that, for example, a family for example, a family may have an adult male and adult female and their children. So they have their common goals and they know what goals are needed to be taken care of. And what is the common goal? Happiness, satisfaction. Now, primary groups offer its member a total experience. For example, if there is a family and that is a primary group, so it has to be face to face and there has to be an intimate relationship within the members. So it is a total experience. Primary group has relationship as an end in itself. So relationship is what matters, right? So if you want to have a good relationship of marriage, so primary group called marriage has to have is to be an end in itself, that it has to be complete, it has to be satisfactory. Primary group generally have long life, like family and peer groups. Primary groups plays an important role in determining an individual's personality. Obviously, this is very important, that your family and your peer group will determine what kind of a personality you have. If there is an abusive family, if there are uh, friends who are not good to you, so you tend to have more mental health issues. So it is very important that your primary group has to be satisfactory, it has to be happy. Now secondary groups. So secondary groups, as I said, primary groups are more intimate, secondary groups are more formal, impersonal, and need based relationship. Need based means must be certain need or goals. That is why this group is formed, like organization, like a, like a group of what you say. If now secondary group, ours is a secondary group or a primary group? This group of class is a secondary group or primary group? Anyone, please tell me.
This class is secondary group, teacher.
Yes, well done. It is a secondary group. Why? Because it is a formal group. It is an impersonal group. See, I cannot talk about my relationships or my family in this group. It is formed because I need to teach you. You have to gain some insight from me, and you need to pass your exam. You need to gain education. So it is a formal group. And primary group, if I am your family member and I am having a meeting or a face to face meeting, or I am telling you something, that is a primary group. Now secondary group have relatively larger number of members. Why? Because obviously, if you are in an organization, if you are in a company, or if you are in like in this class, there are relatively larger number of members. So we have 17 students, or 16 students. Most of them have not joined, but relatively it is a large number because it is a formal group. It also has specific interest. Obviously, the interest may be like, for example, a group of a university has an interest of educating people, a group of an organization, or any company has a specific interest to complete their goals, to complete their balance sheets, or to complete their work assigned to them. Secondary group has clear objectives. Like primary groups, you don't have any objective. It is unconsciously formed, like family and friends. But here you do have certain very clear objectives. Even in primary groups you have an objective, like to have intimacy, to have happiness, to have satisfaction. But here the objectives can be of monitoring terms also, like to complete a task of a company or an organization. Secondary groups are related to each other formally, that it is very formal. It is formed to complete a objective, to complete a aim. Secondary group plays an important role in furthering members interest, right? So here we comes to the end of our unit 1, block 1, introduction to society, and unit 1, this unit. Very basic concepts we have understood about what a society is, what a community is, what an association is, what an institution is, and what is a primary and a secondary group is. I'll take your questions. Wait, I'll talk to you. Yes, Kamruti.
Ma'am, can we say the relationship between students with their teacher at schools as a secondary group?
Yes, it is, because it is formal. I cannot be, informal to you, and I cannot be your mother or your sister. That, of course, I can act like being your mother or a sister or your friend, but I am not, right? I have to be very, very formal with you, right, Kamruti?
Okay, yes. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. So, how was it? How was the session? Please, everyone, please
Can
come
I
first.
can I ask man? Can I ask a
Right,
question, man?
just give me 1 minute. Just give me a
Okay.
minute. Firstly, switch on your cameras. Everyone. Everyone, please switch on your cameras for a minute. Switch on your cameras, everyone, for a minute, because I have to take picture and I have to upload that uh, to the GNU Center. Yes, Nuria, Shabnam, just switch off your camera. Nasreen, Kamruddin, Thank you so much for doing that. Shabnam, come fast. Bacha, please switch on your cameras. This is a way of taking your attendance also, right? Please switch on your cameras. Hasina and Shabnam. I know you guys are getting ready because you must be laying down on beds or listening. I know that happens usually. Hasina and Khairullah, you were there online. Come on, switch on your camera, Khairullah. Yes. Hasina, I think. Okay. Now tell me. Let's interact. Hidayat, first ask you a question.
Can you give me an example, ma'am, between community and sorry, institution or an association?
Okay. So, see, when we talk about institution, right? Here I have highlighted this word institution are established form of condition. There are certain procedures or characteristics of a group activity. Like you see, association is when I talked about an association, it is a form of organization. There you have a, like for example, in an educational setup you have a certain association of children, association of teachers who will take care about the about, like association of a teacher taking care about other teachers. But when it comes an institution, education in itself is a institution. Education in itself is an institution, but education is not an association. Within education, as there are teachers coming together to form an association to fight against a college or a school or a group or principal or head of the institution. Is it clear? Kamruddin, is it clear now?
Yes, is it clear? Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you
Okay.
so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Now, please give your feedback. How was your first class? In fact, let me tell you, this is my first class also.
Yes, ma'am. Our first class was very interesting. It was very useful and helpful. Thank you so much for giving us your time, and
Thank you.
it was very helpful. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Others, please comment. How was your first class and what are your expectations? Yes, Shabnam, please.
Ma'am, it was amazing. Trust me, and
Thank you.
everything was so clear. Everything mean your first time, and I just received many things. I just know right now many things. Thank you, ma'am. It was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Hidayat. Can I call you
Thank you, ma'am, for
Hidayat
being here.
or should I pronounce
Yeah,
it as Hidayatullah? Please tell me.
you can call me Ajmal too.
Ajmal. Okay, I'll call you Ajmal. Then
Yeah,
Ajmal, how was your first class?
I'm so happy for you being here. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for giving us time. Uh,
Thank you so
I'm so
much
happy.
for
Thank you.
having me. Okay, so you understood the difference between institution and association now?
Actually, my internet got lost,
Okay,
so
I tell
I
you,
didn't receive
Hidayat,
any.
see, institution is an educational institution. Your college is your institution. Okay, understood?
Um, yeah, ma'am. Yeah.
Or what is an association now? A group of teachers in a college forming a group to fight against a principal or any set of rules or norms. So there are teacher associations. Student union is an association. Sometimes a student forms a group to talk about their objective, to talk about their own problems to the principal. So that is an association which you form. But institutions are like marriages. Educational is an institution which are already established. Marriage is an institution, an established institution. Education is an established institution. But when you form a team or when you form a group, it is an association.
Okay, man. Thank. Got it.
Okay. Now, any other person? Any other person? Please give your feedback. Carola, please give your feedback. And
Madam,
how was your class? How was this class?
I,
Have you understood?
yeah, I have a question about. Yes, yes, madam, I understood. But you said that institutions are the group of people.
Even associations are a group of people. Society is also a group of people. Their roles are different.
Association is a group of people that already established.
Kerala, every institution, society, community, association, everything is a group of people, but their roles, their objective is different.
Objective is different.
Objective.
Yes, madam, I have a question about your previous lecture. That my question is, what is difference between the society and association?
Okay. So, okay. I'll come again. Association. Have you understood association? Abhi, uh, just now I explained association. Have you understood that?
I didn't got that what you
Kerala.
said about the
Okay.
association.
Okay. So, Kerala, please mute yourself first.
Okay,
Because I'm. See, Kerala association. For I just explained, like if you want to form an organization, if you are in a college, you are a student, and you are want to form an organization of students who can talk about their problems, who can talk about their hindrances in college life to a principal. So you come deliberately, the college student will come and form an organization, for example, named uh, uh, in the name of your college, XYZ college student association. You will deliberately form that association, and you will go to the principal and talk about your problem. So that is an association which you form deliberately for a certain objective. And where membership is, I said, voluntary. So you will ask your classmates, do you want to come and join to student association so that we can talk about our problems to the principal, right? So associations are an organization which you form to which you form deliberately to achieve an objective first. It is kind of an organization, like FIFA World Cup. When you talk about football, it has its own association. Somebody just named its association. What was the name of the World Cup association? I think Hidayat, you told me. Cricket Association or World Cup Association. Name of that association. Okay, so there is an association, World Cup Association, FIFA World Cup Association, or anything. So it will invite other countries, or the members of other countries, to join them, or to talk about their problems, to talk about what is needed or what. So that is an association. Now, when you talk about society, it is very different from association. Kerala, it is very different. Society is, when you talk about society, just understand this word. It is a web of relationship. Means where you socially interact with each other is society. Where you live, and you have where you live right now, where you are living in a particular area, that is your society. And a society means when you have relationships with people, when you have mutual awareness, when you have social relationships with each others, that is a society. So it is kind of a relationship where you live. All right. So the place, or the place you are living, or where you have relationships with people, is a society. But an association is an organization. It is not where you live. It is what you form to achieve an objective. Okay?
Yes, madam. Thank you so much. I
Okay.
got it.
Okay. Thank you. Any other question?
Ma'am, can we have these presentations kindly?
Of course, I will share this presentation. And I think
And
also, I think you have got your study materials.
yes, we got that, but it's a little bit brief.
Okay, so I'll share this
And
PPT to
ma'am,
you,
what
sir.
about our homeworks,
What about your?
assignments, assignments?
See, because it is my first class, so I'll let you know the whole procedure. Don't worry, it is our first class. But I think I'm not, you know, accountable for the assignment part. I think I'm just accountable for your lectures. Okay? Rest, I'll let you know. Shabnam, I'll let you know in the next class for sure.
Okay, ma'am,
Okay?
thank you.
Okay, and I'll share this PPT to sir and he will share you thereafter. Okay? Or we can form a group also where you can ask me some questions or where you can where we can share some inputs. Okay?
Yeah, ma'am, that will be better.
So do one thing. I shall take one of your numbers. Uh, Hidayat, please give me your number. Are you? Do you have a common group? 17 people, 19 people. Do you have a
Yeah,
group?
yeah, we have. Yeah,
Hidayat, I'll give you my number. Please join me in that group.
okay, ma'am.
It is 7300
7300
90
90
998.
998.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Please join me in that group and then I'll share the PPT and you can ask me questions if you want.
Okay,
Hana?
ma'am. Thanks.
Shall I take your leave now? Anything else?
Ma'am, I also want your number, please.
Okay, it is 7300 90
Seven, 73,
00
73, double
double
zero.
90.
Okay.
I'm writing in the chat box. Wait.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Have you received?
Yes.
Ma'am, why we are not making a group with you? I think
Huh,
it will
make.
be better.
Okay, Shabna, you make a group with me.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, okay, and join me and make me an admin. Okay,
Okay,
no
ma'am. Okay.
problem.
Okay.
Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you for your cooperation. I hope my first class was insightful for you all. Okay,
It was amazing.
thank you, Shabnam. Take care.
It was
Take.
very helpful, ma'am. Thank you so
Thank you.
much for giving us your time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. Okay, take care. Have a good
Ma'am,
week. Hmm.
ma'am, I have a question, please. Today our lesson lasted in secondary groups.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's finished in
Last,
secondary groups.
it finished in secondary group. So see this. See this.
Okay.
We did block one, introduction
Oh,
to study, and
okay.
within that block one, we did the
Mm,
first unit.
okay.
The first unit had these topics.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so
In the
much.
next class, we will do block 1 but unit 2, 3 and 4. Very easy units, okay? Or I think in next class, keep yourself with good food and water because I'll be taking unit 5432, okay?
Okay.
Okay, keep your stomach
Okay,
full
ma'am.
in the next class.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank
have
you.
a good time, ma'am.
Thank you.
Have a good time.
Take care, ma'am.
Goodbye, ma'am.